Please call the roll.
Bowman.
Here.
Parsons.
Here.
Brooks.
Here.
Fair. Here. Swallow. Here. Dowling. Lahr.
Here.
Winters.
Here.
All right, we have quorum. Item 4 on the agenda is discussion and action on the consent agenda. All of the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at city council meetings will be approved by one vote of the council. Any member of the council desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items. Item A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of December 18th, 2023. Item B, approval of claims in the amount of $522,224.97 and payroll expenses of $225,124.93.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Winters and a second from Mrs. Beard to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Winters.
Yes.
Fair. Yes. Brooks.
Yes.
Swallow. Yes. Lahr.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes. Item 6, reports from staff. No planning commission meeting to report. Hospital authority meeting. Mr. Bowman?
Yes, the hospital authority voted to sign the paperwork for PMC care management for the hospital. This is the mental health senior care division. Anyway, we have voted for that, and that's going to happen, and also to purchase a new mammogram machine for the hospital. And other than routine business, that was about it.
Does council have any questions for Mr. Bowman?
So what does PMC do?
You know, they're a mental health consulting, so to speak. They're going to be based out of the hospital, and help with issues. So, couldn't tell you all the things that, I mean, do you know anything else? I mean,
I may just be a little bit more familiar than Greg, but I know that it's a way to provide mental health services to seniors, particularly the Medicare population. They've implemented in multiple hospitals across Oklahoma, and it's an additional service to our community. It's an additional revenue stream for the medical center, and it's an unmet need in Alva for sure. So,
Okay.
any other questions regarding the hospital authority meeting? Please, there. Man, I miss a month and I'm out. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, we'll move on to the library board meeting on January 8th. Steve, can you give that report?
Yeah, I can. It was a pretty good meeting. There was nothing really special decided. Just ran through the normal statistics of how many visitors we had, doing what. Otherwise, there wasn't a whole lot on the agenda. It was a pretty routine meeting.
Any questions for Mr. Ford? All right, item D is the Alva Arena Authority meeting on January 2nd, 2024. They did meet, and they've been really moving their plans forward. I think they're hopeful to have a project underway here before long. And so they've reached out to fire marshal and code enforcement officer for planning type things, and they're moving the project forward. I don't know that I would be able to answer any questions, but if there are questions, we can certainly get them passed along to get answers. Next item is Tourism Tax Commission meeting.
We didn't
No
have
meeting?
one, but we have one tomorrow.
Okay. Board of Adjustments, there was no meeting. The Airport Commission meeting on January 8th. That wasn't much either. We had a presentation from Rural Water District 3. They've received a grant for generators at their pump houses, And so we have asked Mr. Ford and staff to develop the legal language, or probably we're going to be involved, develop the legal language for increasing their easement where their pump house is so they can have a generator there. Any questions regarding the airport meeting? All right. Next item is Parks and Recreation Commission meeting on January 10th. I won't give you a report.
Again?
Golly. We get into that meeting, and I don't know why, but it says city council report, and Gail's sitting right there, and then I just start talking, and she doesn't stop me, and so.
It works out. We mostly had routine business too. Our turf project is ongoing, but the weather's kind of delayed it. And tomorrow we have the groundbreaking for the pool, the high school, and then we move to the pool area at 2 p.m. So if you can make it, please be there.
I'll add, just regarding the groundbreaking, we have posted these as meetings. Your attendance is not required. Of course, we posted them as meetings so that if you are able to attend, we would love to have everybody there. We will take attendance, but we won't have agenda items to act upon or anything like that. And we'll, in the beginning of everything, probably everybody stand, and we'll just make sure we got everybody's attendance noted. So. Okay. Any questions for Mrs. Swallow regarding the Parks and Rec meeting? All right. Cemetery meeting, they did not meet. Finance Committee meeting, Mr. Winters?
City of Alva financially still looking very well. $3.5 million in cash with $4.8 million in investments. It continues to climb, continues to be significantly better than it has been in many years. Everything is right on target, or just within a few points of being on target of where we would expect them to be at this point. Sales and use tax collection was $413,217.31. Which continues to be above budgeted and expected. So, utility billing, there was a decrease in utility billing, not, I don't think, significant or crazy, but there was a decrease in billing. Other than that, we went over some CDs. We've got a bunch of CDs coming up. We've got a lot of CDs at this point that turn over pretty regularly. Just because of how interest rates are, so quite a few of those coming up.
Any questions from Mr. Winters? Thank you. As far as the mayor's report is concerned, we do have, I want to first thank Mr. Winters for leading the meeting last month. I knew he would do fine, and I'm glad you did it, so thank you.
Probably.
Coming up, last week I had the opportunity to talk to students at the 8th grade. There's a contest, an essay contest put on by the municipal league. It's called If I Were Mayor, and this year Mrs. Martini had that be an assignment to all the 8th graders, and so all the 8th graders that turn in an assignment are going to have their essay entered in the contest with the municipal league. And so next month, February 8th and 9th at the Congress of Mayors, I am hopeful that one of our Alva students is in the top 3, and we get to recognize them at in the House chambers there. The registration is still open if anybody is interested in attending that. I know we have a couple council members that are planning to attend, and I will be there as well. Other than that, I would answer any questions. All right, next item is the business manager's report. Mr. Ford.
Now, the Locust Street water line project's still going on. We're getting ready to turn to that pretty hot and heavy, really focus on it. We're working on timing with that, with the OWRB money you got. Just part of our plan is to continue that Locust Street line up to 11th, like we originally planned, with some of that money. If we can work it and get a bid out in time and Then when Drake and the team are done and hit the 800 block, they tie right into what the other contractors have done, right there at the 900 block, and then it's all seamless to get the water all the way back on from the 7th to 11th. So that's something we're working with Bill Myers on. I saw a thing today, we're getting ready to go out for bids for the telemetry for the well field, using that OWRV money as well. For our water meter project, we still have a total of 221 left, which is not very many. So we're pretty hopeful that they'll be done by the end of January. Gail mentioned the turf project. Yeah, it's weather delays. Survival flight up and running. I don't know if people have been listening to hear the helicopter run quite a few times, so sounds like they're doing good things. The city's new website is up and running, and if you go to your app store, that's what the app looks like for the city of Alva. We have an app now. So if you download that app, allow push notifications. Anytime we send anything out from the city, you'll get on your phone, such as water break somewhere, whatever that notification might be. Now we can push those out to people's phones. You don't have to sign up for Text My Gov or any of that other stuff. So that's pretty cool that it's up and working, and it seems to be working pretty well. So like I said, I'd encourage you to tell all your friends about it. We're going to get some paperwork from the company that made it with QR codes that gives us in the paper, so people can hit the QR code and go right to that are downloaded. The LPAC finished up the 5-year work, or CIP work. We'll be voting on some of that tonight. But that was good. Kind of hit that hot and heavy for the last few months, and it really paid off. Let's see. As I mentioned last month, I'll be attending the CMAO conference in Edmond at the end of this month, the 24th and 26th. And it's budget season again, so we're trying to get everything in line to get that process moving. I'll be scheduling the budget offsite for us as well, for the council, and make sure everybody knows when that's going to be and where it's going to be. So that's all I've got.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Ford?
I had some questions about the new water meters. Mine froze up today. Is there any, how many of them have frozen up in this cold snap?
Have you heard of any other storm?
I think did you call yours in?
Yeah, I called mine in.
Yeah, so he was one that was called in, so 3 besides him.
Wow.
I'd seen where somebody else was stalling them out for people also. Can the public put insulation down in those, or is there anything they can do to keep them from freezing up?
I think stuff in insulation under would be the best thing to do.
Okay.
So I thought they'd be deep enough in those cans they wouldn't freeze, but I guess not. So, but yeah, I think stuff in insulation down there, especially when it's cold, be fine. As long as, if we need to, as long as they can get in there and read them.
Okay.
So
I would just, I hate to say I don't hate to say use caution, but I know there's a wire that runs from the meter to the lid.
there is.
So there are, nobody wants their meter freezing up, but you also don't want to break the meter and have to be responsible for that either. So
In the event that the meter freezes and busts, who's responsible for that, the city or the property owner?
It depends on which side of the meter busts on the thing. So, if it busts on our side, then it's us. So, I'm not sure those meters are freezing. They should be deep enough in the cans that they shouldn't freeze. So I'll talk to Drake about that.
are the meters breaking, or is it the lines at the meters?
I don't know. I'll ask.
It is the
Did
meters.
you say?
Okay, so our meters are all different levels.
Yeah, I know.
They're not all deep. The best thing you could do is just take a piece of brown insulation and just lay it right underneath the lid, make a slit for the wire, is what the guys are telling people to do. So
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Heather.
That'd work.
And then I had some questions on the bills too. I had a few people online. I talked to one, and they'd asked me to check on her mother's bill, but she had a $300 bill, and she was, I needed to check at the business office, but they were told that it was just catching up. And I wasn't real clear, she wasn't real clear exactly what that was, but if you have any idea.
It could have been a zero read the month before, and then it did catch up.
Well, that's speculative. I think the best thing to do is have the customer call
Come down and talk to
it
Heather.
out and talk to
Okay.
her.
Well, the daughter talked to him, and she was a little bit confused, so she'd asked me to just, I told her I'd check on it, so I'll try to follow up on it later.
If you let them know who it is or whatever, we'll Heather can do My guess is it'll read, but we don't know.
Okay.
Any other questions for Steve? All right. Item 7, remarks and inquiries by citizens. Item 8 is discussion and action to approve the mayor's recommendation of Mr. Connor Martin to fulfill the unexpired term of Mr. Jason Gaspard on the Alva Hospital Authority, term expiring in June 2025. Mr. Gaspard has been in the process of getting his family moved north of town. Hospital Authority trust indenture requires that all members reside inside the municipal boundaries. Mr. Gaspard and Dr. Hannaford, along with the hospital CEO, have reached out to Mr. Martin and have made recommendation that he be approved to take Jason's place on the board. I'd entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion to approve Connor Martin to fulfill the unexpired term of Jason Gaspard on the City of Alva Hospital Authority expiring June of 2025.
Second?
A motion by Mr. Bowman, a second by Ms. Spear to appoint Connor Martin to fulfill the unexpired term of Jason Gaspard on the Hospital Authority, term expiring in June 2025. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Brooks,
No.
Lord,
Yes.
Item 9 is discussion and action to approve City of Alva Resolution 2024-001, resolution of the City Council amending the fiscal year 2023-2024 annual budget for the City of Alva. We can pull that up. This is with regard to, is this the airport?
Airport, yeah.
Okay. This is airport grant funds and then expenditures related to those funds that were received, just to make sure their budget accurately reflects all the financial activity.
I'd make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-001.
Second?
Have a motion by Mr. Winters, a second by Mrs. Beer to approve Resolution 2024-001. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Winters,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Lord,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Item 10 is a public hearing for all interested citizens of the City of Alva as proposed for the work completed on the capital improvement plan, the CDBG, CIP, the LPAC, priorities and recommendations for the 5-year plan, and public comments regarding acceptance of the CIP project as completed. All right, we'll move on to item 11, discussion action to approve the City of Alva Resolution 2024-002, a resolution of the City of Alva, Oklahoma, adopting the capital improvement plan.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-002.
Second?
Have a motion by Mr. Winters, a second by Mrs. Beer to approve Resolution 2024-002. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Winters,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Brooks,
No.
Lord,
Yes.
and Parsons.
No.
Item 12 is discussion action to approve City of Alva Resolution 2024-003, a closeout resolution of the City of Alva, Oklahoma, approving and accepting the Community Development Block Grant project as completed, adopting the capital improvement plan. So this is basically, with the adoption of the capital improvement plan, we're stating that the CDBG grant has been fulfilled.
I'd make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-003.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Winters with a second by Mr. Bowman to approve Resolution 2024-003. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Winters,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Lar,
Yes.
Swallow.
Yes.
We don't have anything, to my knowledge, that meets the definition of new business. Item 14, remarks and inquiries by council members.
I have a remark or comment. You know, we as a community have a hospital here, and we as a community have to decide if we want to keep and have a hospital here. In doing that, I think we have to decide if we're going to use that hospital. I've been through some things here lately where insurance providers have said, oh, you've got to go to Enid or Oklahoma City. And when I questioned them and said, can I not get that done in Alva, they have said, sometimes no, sometimes yes, but it required a question. And I think we as a community need to decide, do we want to do it here? And I think the hospital has been trying to do everything they can to provide those services for whatever need it is, but we have to decide if we want to use them. And so it's just a statement, you know, that if we want to keep them here, we have to use them. And if we don't use them, we're going to lose them. And that's going to be a bad deal for everybody in this community if we lose this hospital. So it's just a statement. And that's all I got to say on it.
Thank you, Greg. Any other remarks or inquiries? Okay, we'll adjourn the city council meeting and open the regular Alva Economic Development Authority meeting. When you're ready, please call the roll.
Winters,
Here?
Lar,
Here.
Dowling, Swallow,
Here.
Bear,
Here.
Brooks,
Here.
Parsons,
Here.
Bowman.
Here.
Item number 3 is discussion and action on the consent agenda. All the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at AEDA meetings will be approved by one vote of the authority. Any trustee desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda, and it will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items: approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of December 18, 2023, and approval of claims in the amount of $1,372,419.02, and payroll expenses of $19,964.32. I will just point out that that number is quite a bit higher than normal, and that's because of the projects going on out at the recreation complex.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Winters and a second from Mrs. Beer to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Winters,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Lar,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Swallow.
Yes.
All right. And again, there is no new business, and we will adjourn the Economic Development Authority meeting. And we'll call to order the regular Alva Utility Authority meeting. Please call the roll.
Winters,
Here?
Lar,
Here.
Dowling, Swallow,
Here.
Bear,
Here.
Brooks,
Here.
Parsons,
Here.
Bowman.
Here.
Item 3 is discussion and action on the consent agenda. All of the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at AEDA meetings will be approved by one vote of the authority. Any trustee desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items. Item A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of December 18, 2023. Item B, approval of claims in the amount of $152,609.71 and payroll expenses of $53,069.53. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Bowman and a second from Mr. Winters to approve the consent agenda.
Lar.
Dr. Lahr.
Yeah.
Not bad. I had a second from Dr. Lar. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
All right. There is no new business. We are adjourned.